What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. All right, it is the 20th day of June, and here we are at about 104.2K, 26 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame, 8 hours, 26 minutes left in the day here. I'm sure there were a lot of people who were excited, absolutely ecstatic that the price was going up here this very week. Not promising pump at all. It saw more volume on a 1 hour time frame, and that makes it convincing, doesn't it? But if you look back and you just see throughout this whole consolidation range, this was your biggest move up. It's a significant move to break out, and that was your lowest spike in volume. Like that's not good. That's not good. And then obviously we can see it in hindsight here. All you did was find resistance at prior areas of support right there, rejected. Bitcoin's been doing this to a T lately. Look, we go back to this. Watch this. Prior resistance right there at areas of support. I guess you went a little bit above this area in all fairness. What about further back? Nope, that was the all-time high. But still, or right here even, finding resistance right there to the T, right at prior areas of support. This rejection with more volume, it's kind of funny, like the perspective. I feel like that this is playing on people's emotions, right? Imagine we were here and we just slowly made our way down to this price here, right? Same end result, less emotional damage. This emotional damage, we're getting people who got excited on this now are more emotionally wrecked than if we just slowly bled down here, right? People would still have hope. I do believe, looking at this right now, that we are not bouncing here. I don't think we're bouncing here. I don't think that you see a breakout like this and then a reversal like this just to stop and then inevitably go back up anyways. Bitcoin's not that kind to people. I do believe that we have lower to go. I think this is the commencement, the beginning of more to come to the downside. This final move to the downside. Hopefully we're done with it by today or tomorrow, man. Because if we can start bouncing going into next week, we'll have that end of month rally. That would be really nice. That'd be really, really nice for the crypto space there. Let's see here. 104.1K now. A lot of volume came in. Look at the 15-minute time frame. A lot of volume came in. This is validating, in my opinion, that we are going lower. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, bearish momentum building on the MACD. I can't believe it too, man. You rejected the zero line twice. You were rejecting it, and you still crossed above it just to get a false cross and then come down. But in all fairness, the shorter term time frames are a little bit less respected than the longer time frames with the MACD and the stochastics. Stochastics up here in the overbought zone. Now you're in the oversold zone. You're probably going to get your freak on with the downside, right? Here, whenever you were overbought and you got down to the oversold zone, just look at look at the breakdown that happened there. We've only just begun, at least I think, in my opinion. RSI looking bearish as well. You had a little plateau here in the overbought zone, which is nice to see. I'm a bit surprised that pump happened, but again, I think that was just call it a manipulated effort, call it a freak accident, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't meant to be, and down we went, right? 4 hour time frame here. Lower highs throughout the RSI here, rejecting the 60. Not a good look in itself. Stochastics were overbought. Now they're not looking like they got to go lower until we're in the oversold zone. I remain bearish there, and even when we're in the oversold zone, we'll probably be there for a little bit, just like we were last time, right? Overbought here, oversold. We moved down for about a day. Overbought here to the oversold zone. We moved down for about 2 days. MACD, you're getting higher readings. That's not a bad look, but the oscillators still are below the zero. We're in overall bearish posturing. You did have, I wouldn't call that bullish divergence, but maybe some bullish momentum building, and you saw a little bit of a pop because of that, but it didn't persist, and you did find resistance right at prior support. So, and even prior resistance back here, right? Yeah, like right there. Resistance there, support there, support there, resistance. It's just a classic area in this given range to find resistance at. You're probably going to go lower. 4 hour RSI probably gets into the oversold zone. Higher lows like this, you're going to break out of that. So I very much do believe that we will see the oversold readings here pretty soon. Looking at this on a 4 hour time frame, I would suspect this happens over the weekend. The faster it happens, the better, though. Again, I'd rather us see that this move get completed over the next couple of days rather than the next couple of weeks. If we're looking at this on a daily time frame, the daily RSI is in a bearish posturing, right? Rejecting the overbought zone, coming down here. Kind of. I still don't know whether to call this a rejection of the overbought zone or not. Kind of. I guess you're above the 65 barely. I'm not going to call it that, but still rejecting an area that you don't want to reject. Down here, I would assume, especially because we've broken out of this ascending trend here, right? You broke out of that. I would think, and you're below the 50, I would think that we do see the oversold zone. If not, at least something that's around this area. Bitcoin does like to find support around the 40 to 35 in the RSI. It does like to do that. So something in this area, a little bit lower, if not a little bit more than a little bit lower. My expectation is that we don't see anything too crazy happen. 104.4K now. It's possible we could go below this low, but understand if we go below this low here, it's very, very unlikely that we stop anywhere other than about 96 to $93,000 and maybe even just below there. But something in this prior consolidation phases area, I wouldn't be surprised if it was right at this kind of area of support right here that you were held up by for about 28 days there. You found some resistance here, resistance there, support there, a little bit of support right there. A semi-significant area right there below 96K. Wouldn't surprise me if we went there or lower. If we were to go below this low, okay, from a low to a high, oops, that's not the low actually. Low to a high. The 382 is right there on top of that line. You can see the 382, that yellow line there inside the box. If I delete the fibs, that white line is right there beneath it. So something there at the most, right around this area at the most, would be my worst expectation. It even lines up with the measure move of this diamond top pattern. But I do believe we're not going to do that. What I do believe is going to happen is we will break out. All hope will be lost. I mean, just look at it, right? Bitcoin literally just did this, but to the upside. It faked you out, right? It probably faked, and maybe it didn't fake you out, not you. You're perfect, whoever you are. You're beautiful. I mean, you're great, right? But the people that it did fake out, from this kind of perspective, got you all excited, and now it's reversing. Who's to say that this can't be a larger fake out to the downside, and then we reverse from there as well? That's kind of my expectation, right? It's in the personality of Bitcoin right now throughout this whole past week or so, past couple of weeks now, to fake people out to the upside and to the downside. What do you think is going to be different about this? Just because the pattern's more developed? This is a diamond top pattern, you guys. That's what this is. That looks ugly. It doesn't look like a diamond. It shouldn't look like a diamond. I mean, diamonds are beautiful in nature, but man, diamond tops in crypto or in charts, they are ugly patterns, right? But it's a diamond top pattern. And having some price outside the pattern is actually very characteristic of diamond tops, right? That's why a lot of people miss them. And they're not the most common patterns, but Bitcoin's been showcasing diamond tops and diamond bottoms here throughout this cycle for whatever reason. But if we're looking at this here, a very characteristic trait of diamond tops is that you break out one direction and then you flip and you go the other direction too. It's like a 50-50 chance that you do that. I'm kind of counting on that myself. We've got one low here in this area. We've got another low here. So I think that it does stand to reason that we could see some kind of a triple bottom in this area. If we get like a quadruple bottom, then we're probably going lower. There's no such thing as a quadruple bottom. We might not even go down to this low or to this low. I do anticipate that we'll see prices below this low, but not below this low. So something that'll break out, take us down to around $102,000 to $101,000, maybe just above 102K, maybe even just below 101K, but right in that area, 101, 102K, and then we'll reverse with a ferocious velocity to the upside. I very much do believe, and as diamond patterns are defined, they're known as high velocity breakout patterns, right? So you'll break out quick, shake out the markets, kind of like we did here to the upside, shake out the markets, make them think we're going down, and then right when you have everybody convinced that this is it, we broke out of this imaginary trend line that matters so much, that's when we will reverse and reclaim the throne to new all-time highs and beyond, yeah? I don't really know if I have anything else that I want to say. The daily MACD is what gets me excited. It's what gives me validation to the idea that we are not going to go too much lower, because this thing likely will bounce right off the zero line, right? It will likely bounce right off of that area there. I mean, here you bounce just below it, in all fairness. Here you bounce right off of it there. Here you found resistance right off of it here. Disrespected it, a little bit volatile here. I don't know what happened in July. That was back in our consolidation phase. Whenever you're moving sideways and kind of being boring, to be fair, like long periods of time like this, the MACD can be disrespected. You found support on it right there. You know what I mean? It's a pretty significant area that you tend to respect. That doesn't mean you have to. And in the case that we don't respect it and we do continue to go lower, you're aware of the target areas, right? I'm not calling for $101,000 and $102,000, that area, and calling for 95 to 93K. That's not what I'm doing, right? That's what people do who are afraid of being wrong, right? I don't care. I'll put my you know what on the table and tell you that this is my expectation. We find support somewhere down here and then we move up. And if I'm wrong, who cares? Because we're at least prepared for it, right? It's not a big deal to be wrong. It's a big deal to be caught with your pants around your ankles and not know what's going on. Because if you're counting on this to be support, and nothing else can happen, but then something else happens, you're going to think Bitcoin's broken. You're going to think that it's the bear market or something like that. So that's why we prepare ourselves. Not to play this cheap little gimmick of a trick where I heavily tell you that I'm expecting this area and that we're kind of considering this area. And then when we go there, I'm like, I was right. I told you. I am so good. I'm the best analyst in the space. Like a lot of, you guys know those guys, right? Those YouTubers that do that. I don't want to be that guy. I've never been that guy. I won't be that guy. I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye.